Hi, Dad. Yeah. I'm tired. I don't know why. But what I do know is that we can take a little break in Mushroom Oasis. Let's look at the about. I was really hoping that would pull up the fucking content warning. There was one. I'll put it on screen. Editing me, like, if you don't do that, you're an asshole. Anyways, let's just go in. What's my name? Don't contradict that. What's my cat's name? And my cat is Goral. Okay. Oh shit. This is my real. Oh god. Okay. Daisy has been missing for a while now. She was an indoor cat, but had the tenacity of a wildcat on a mission trying to leave whenever the door was open. Catios and playtime just wasn't enough for the little missus. Feared she'd come running if I left out some food by the porch. 3 days later, still no cat. I tried everything I could think of. Asking around the neighborhood, putting up missing cat posters. Sadly, nothing came from my efforts. I couldn't search for her during the day since I had work keeping me occupied. There was only so many hours in an evening I could yell around the streets looking for her. There was only one place I left that I could think she might have ran off to: the woods by my house, right across the street. I definitely caught her eyeing the birds and squirrels that ran alongside the perimeters of the front window, her teeth clicking in excitement. I was no outdoorsy person by any means. In fact, the thought of going in there scares me. But I had to find her, or at least try. First weekend that came around, I packed some water, Daisy's favorite treats, and a compass to be safe. I wasn't sure where to begin looking for her, so I started walking in a straight line, calling out her name every few steps. It certainly didn't take long for me to realize I was in way over my head. Why did I think this was a good idea? It was hard to find my bearings in the surrounding trees. I didn't want to admit I was lost, at least not yet. I could only squint down my compass as the needle spun slowly. Pretty sure they weren't made to do that. Did I really bring a busted compass on my first adventure out in these woods? Figured that would be just my luck. The only thing risking my own safety was my own incompetence. I shook my head hastily. No. No time for negativity. This is out there somewhere, cold and lost and hungry. I had to keep going. It's been hours. I'm so lost. I don't even know why I kept searching even after the moment I'd realized that. Why did I think this was a good idea? Hunger had been gnawing at my stomach for a while now, having missed breakfast and lunch altogether. The heat and humidity from the afternoon sun was unbearable. The cooling air did nothing to soothe me. Even if I were to head home, I couldn't even pinpoint where that was. What do people even do in this situation? I knew it was baseless optimism, but walking onwards was really the only thing I could think of to do. Surely I'll come across something familiar. I trudged my shoes, carefully avoiding the tree roots intertwined across the forest floor. But in my weakened state, plus the approaching darkness, I found myself stumbling through the rough terrain. My feet hit something soft jutting out of the ground. Ah! And shot out. I felt clumsy and tried to find purchase a wall backwards, arms flapping. What? My shoe landed smack dab in a circle of mushrooms, the brunt of it causing a wispy cloud to erupt from the cluster. Mask! Use your shirt as a mask! Yeah, that's what you do in this situation, and you get the fuck away! My nose in my elbow to avoid breathing it in. I could differentiate one truly from another for the life of me, but I'm pretty sure humans aren't supposed to inhale whatever the hell this was. It smelled strongly of rotten wood and what, even as it cleared. I'm not going to do that any longer. He's caught my attention. Pick it up, gasping underneath my breath. It was Daisy's collar, covered in whatever the hell those mushrooms released. Looked around desperately for any signs of her. Daisy? Daisy? Now, Daisy, my real cat, gets scared when you go pss, 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 pss. What you have to do instead is go pa, 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 pa. I coughed from inhaling some of the remaining dust floating in the air. I should really steer clear from this. Pocketing Daisy's collar, I retreated carefully until I could breathe again. So someone must have stuck it to my hair and clothes. I covered my suspicions with a slight fringe. Generous coating it covered my arms and jeans. Against a tree, dusting off my clothes in a naive attempt to get the dust and smell out to no avail. If anything, it felt like I'm breathing in more of it. What used to be musty now turned sweet. I found myself inhaling even deeper, trying to pinpoint the smell. Cucumbers? It smelled like fresh cucumbers. A tingly feeling crept up my hands and neck, pinpricks spreading across my limbs as a strange heat reached my face. I started to feel drunk and woozy. My senses were numb. The word "my" is purple. I'm writing that down. I don't know if that's going to be important, but I'm going to write it down, and I think I'm going to write down I destroyed my only purple pen to create purple ink, so I'll just write the word "my" and in parentheses under it, purple. It should freak me out. Oh, I don't think that was necessary. And yet, a strange comfort watched over me. I should lie down. Right now, in fact. My legs gave out from under me, my body toppling over at an awkward angle. I laid there and stared and stared and stared. It was nice here. A peaceful calm, the birthplace for a nap, even. My eyes grew heavy as I swam in and out of consciousness. Yeah, a nap sounds really good right about now. Oh, sorry this happened to you, little one. By the will of the forest, may you rest in peace. Wait, a human? How'd you end up all the way out here? Still breathing, too. Ah, geez, I can't leave you here. What should I do? I wake with a jolt. It was warm, but comfortably so. I could feel the weight of a blanket on me as I tried to sit up. I couldn't move my body. My fingers twitched uselessly at my sides as my eyes started around in panic. Glancing about, I could see the interior of a cabin, or at least the ceiling of one. I couldn't see much past the corner of my eyes. Where was I? How did I get here? A desperate feeling rose in my chest. I had to leave. Right now. This was wrong, wrong, wrong! I wasn't meant to be here. The cackling of a fire nearby, likely the source of warmth I had felt on waking up. I could also hear footsteps approaching. So I'm going to stay awake. I fluttered my eyelids, strained to look at the person approaching. My eyes widened as I took in their appearance. There were protrusions from their forehead catching my attention. Yeah, they're horns made out of mushrooms on this little goblin fella. Not to mention the green skin? The stranger didn't sense my unease as they heaved a sigh of relief. You're awake. That's good. Very, very good. How are you feeling? I blinked. Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. Here. Person held a cup to my lips, a strong sweet smell coming from the rim. A gentle hand grabbed my chin to open my mouth. I couldn't even move to resist. Don't worry, it'll help you feel better. I promise. Or, don't worry, it'll help you feel better. I promise. Drink up. As the liquid hit my tongue, all I could feel was a vague sense of heat. As I kept drinking, taste and texture returned, the sweetness of berries and chamomile coating my taste buds. I could even detect a hint of mint. I lifted my head finally, hands fisting at my sides as I brought myself onto my elbows. The person kept a steady hand on my chin, careful not to pour in too much in case I choked. I finished every last drop, wiping my mouth with the back of my hand. I stood in fear, feeling I had full autonomy over my body again. Good as new. Now, how are you feeling? Better, thank you. The stranger laughed. Oh, I like the way you sound. been ages since I've talked to anyone, much less with a voice as nice as yours. I brush off their strange compliment, finally looking around the cabin properly. It was a simple room filled with sparse but decorated wooden furniture, fit for someone living alone. An open archway to the right led to what I assumed was the kitchen. I mean, it has a sink in it. It's either the kitchen or the bathroom, and the bathroom should have a door. Listen, if your bathroom doesn't have a door, I don't know what's going on there, but you must be living like on living in a studio apartment on hard mode. Next to it, a door was closed shut, possibly the bathroom. Taking it in, there was a comic theme of knitted decorations strewn about. Any available service had patterned knitted tablecloths covering an unfinished project lay beside the bedside table where I sat. A pair of knitting needles jutting out of a pile of in a small basket. Okay, sometimes right-click hide. In some other Renpai games, right-click hides it, so that's what I was trying to do. As far as I could tell, it looked like the beginnings of a green scarf. The stranger was, well, staying silent, observing me as I glanced around. Dude, ask about the cat. Do you still have the collar? Do you still have the collar? Is it so? Say, help, please. I'm out here because I lost my cat. Have you seen my cat? Ask the weird goblin man about your cat. They tossed their hat onto the bed, scruffing their hair and making it even messier. With their hat off, their unique features were impossible to ignore. Sorry, but what are you? Hmm? Oh, I didn't introduce myself, did I? Hiya, I'm Michael with a Y. I shook my head. No, I meant that, Michael stared at me, their left ear twitching. You look very... He snorted. Ugly? Off-putting? No! Just different. Different, huh? You're just being nice. Well then explain yourself. I mean, that's kind of rude, isn't it? Why am I in your fucking house? I paused for a moment before pinching my nose bridge, exhaling slowly. I'm just... sorry. It's been a long day is all. I should be thanking you. If it helps, it's a skin condition? Is that what you humans call them? That's a weird comment. What do you mean, you humans? The way he said it didn't sound confident. And the ears? Genetics? Right. I assume the little... I wave vaguely at their horns, antennae. Those things are just cosplay to complete the look. Goblin! Goblin, 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 goblin! That's a goblin! That's a fucking goblin! Would that make a convincing argument? The fact that you had to ask means the answer is no. I squinted. Maybe. Then yeah, it's cosplay. Still doesn't explain everything. Michael huffed a nervous laugh. Listen. What's happening? Listen, I'm just a guy living by himself in the woods. You don't need to worry yourself further than that, okay? Something in his tone compelled you. That you is pink. Usually it's purple. I think pink means that he's messing with our brain. The collective brain, me and all of the, maybe if I'm lucky, 4 people watching this video. He's just some guy living in the woods. Completely normal. Right, completely normal. I'm Atlas. Michael beamed. Nice to meet you, Atlas. Shit, what if Michael's the Fae? Fuck, we just gave the Fae our name. Holy shit. Don't That's the rule number one. Never tell the Fae your fucking name. I fiddled with the blankets as Michael scooted closer from the edge of the bed. I know I already asked, but how are you feeling? Any aches, sores, nausea, intrusive thoughts, weird impulses, fever maybe? I don't think. He placed his hand on my forehead before I could react. His hands were calloused, quickly retracting as he gave a thoughtful hum. You seem to be lucid. That's a good sign. Gray? He hummed absently, his reminding me of a perturbed cat. That's an interesting comment. Is this our cat? I feel like that one cop that they like propose a theory and then they are forced to immediately turn in their badge. Except, actually, I take that all back. I don't want to be associated with any cops ever. The good old 1312 ACAB. But I'm Paul. What do you expect? Cat. My cat! Oh, shoot! Sorry if this is out of nowhere, but have you seen a cat around these parts? Her name's Stacy. She's a sweet little thing. About this big, skittish, but she can approach strangers if she needs to. I pulled out my phone to show pictures of her, only to find it missing from my back pocket. Wait, where is... I haven't. Huh? Your cat. I haven't seen it. Look at that. Look at that expression. That is our cat. Oh my god, Michael spelt like mycelium. That's cute. Anyways, Michael is... That's my theory. That's my pitch. Okay? I'm holding a pen, so you know I'm being serious. This is my pitch. Michael is our cat after those spores, because the cat ate the spores and then became Michael. That's my pitch. That's my pitch. Oh, I see. Since against spells rubbing at my temples. She lost her collar, too. Even if anyone finds her, they wouldn't be able to tell where she's from. Damn it. Michael stayed quiet, watching me from his side of the bed. You came all the way out here for a cat? Huh? Of course. To the point where you're going to run yourself ragged this deep into the forest? For a cat? Do you realize how far you've wandered away from the nearest town? I found you're unconscious in an area nobody's set foot in for years. For a cat. Something like he was holding himself back from giving me a stern lecture, as if in disbelief I had such little regard for my own survival. Yeah, for a cat. And clearly, I went out. I didn't go out far enough because I hadn't found it, but I had found the counter, which means the cat was there somewhere. Unless you're the cat! You're the fucking cat! Like tree kid as stupid and reckless that sounds. I mean, she's not just a cat, she's my family. I know it was stupid of me, but I had to. Michael eased up, shoulders tense as he was underneath his unruly bangs. Family, huh? Finally tipped his head at me with a smile. You're going to wander this far for such a small critter? I've had my fair share of lost campers, hunters, a few runaway teens or two. Someone looking for their pet? You're kind of weird, aren't you? I sputtered, much to his amusement. Speak for yourself. Who cosplays in the middle of the woods? Yes, poke holes in that theory, or that he's actually a goblin that was once your cat. I'm I'm gonna septuple down on that theory. Here's the thing, alright? Every time I make one of these theories, it's like a 75% chance it's all bullshit, 25% chance I figured everything out in the first 5 minutes of the movie. So I have to make these pitches because I want to seem really cool 25% of the time and really insane the other 75. There's no downside to doing that. So that's my pitch. Michael is our cat. That is my pitch. That I think is the big twist of the game. Michael laughed, a deep, hearty one resonating from his chest. That was me actually laughing at thinking about how I was going to laugh. I was just going to go, oh. Fair. I think I'm starting to like you, Atlas. Likewise? The smile widened a bit, but something about it was off. Yeah, that bitch a fucking, trapezoid. The bitch is that bitch is smile like a trapezoid. A fucking trapezoid. He was showing off too much teeth. He hadn't talked to someone in a real long time and forgot how to smile the right amount. Damn. I rubbed my neck, trying to think of something else to say. Can I ask, how did I get here? Oh, like I said, I found you in the woods not far from here. Oh, geez, really? I knew I was tired, but I couldn't have possibly... Huh? Did I step in something... something important? The important is purple. Okay. Familiar pinpricks crept up my skin. Home. I need to go home. Michael stiffened as he grabbed my shoulder. Never mind that. You'd fallen unconscious from a heat stroke. Heat stroke? No, that wasn't what happened. I wasn't. I was fine up until... Michael shook his head instantly, leaning close. No, Firefly, you weren't fine at all. And found you when I did. Well, who knows what could have happened. We've gotten injured or attacked by a wild animal. There's danger in these woods, you know. No, he was right. We've been so foolish. How did you think you could do this on your own? All of those were pink, baby! He's making us feel like shit for doing the noble act of doing something you're afraid of for the good of a small creature. Searching for your cat in the middle of the woods. And to go in without bringing any water? Passing out from heat stroke of all things? Water was the only thing you packed. How could you have been so stupid? Water was the only thing you're... Put a fucking image on the screen, editor B. Water was one of the 3 things you packed. You packed cat treats, water, and a broken compass. Yes, those were what you fucking... I shook my head, brain too foggy to pick apart my thoughts. He sounded confident, so why should you doubt it? Well, if it means anything, I'm glad you were there. Michael relaxed, hand on his lap once more. He grinned at me. So am I, Atlas. Everything went blue. I'm definitely glad I found you. His eyes were fully in behind his unruly hair, but I couldn't help but feeling how intensely they were fixated onto me as he said that. The hairs on the back of my neck stood. Sure. Without a distraction, I've only just realized how uncomfortable I was sitting still. It got me starting to itch, just as the desperate need to get home began to rise in me again. Me, in purple. That means I'm not going to go over it again. I am, however, going to say the color because I know you're not reading the text, Dad. This was interesting, but I should really get going now. Wait! My host jumped up from the bed before I could. I mean, I can't just let you wander around in the woods this late. Please stay a bit longer. But Michael, but, but Michael, I really have to. Come! He grabbed my hand and led me across the room. We stepped into the kitchen, a fragrant smell of cooked potatoes and meat hanging in the air. 2 plates had been set out on a small circular table, complete with utensils and mugs of tea. I wasn't expecting guests today, so the food is nothing fancy, but join me for dinner? You looked so hopeful, ears drooping. You'd feel so bad if you had to say no. Bink. So we can either give in to the smoke and say yes, or not do that, say no. No. I ignored the pleading voice in the back of my head, stealing my resolve. Enough, the second I made up my mind, the faint static that fogged my thoughts cleared instantly, only faced with the urgent need to go back home. Michael goes quiet, grip on my hand tightening before he loosens his hold. I see, if that's what you want, but are you really sure? Yes, it's what I meant to do. His ears flattened at my words. He laughs an empty laugh, mouth twisting into a crooked grimace. Surely you wouldn't mind sitting down for a quick meal? Just a bite even? Please. His hands fisted at his sides. Do you really have to go? I'm gonna keep going. Michael stared at me as if looking for something. Finally said in defeat. Alright. I guess I can't keep you here anymore. Let me lead you outside. Michael shuddered me towards the back door, swinging it open as he sidestepped to let me out. Chill breeze crept along my arms. I turned toward it one last time. Thanks again for everything. He was silent for a moment, staring past me into the trees. You're welcome. Be careful on your way then. I'm sorry there's so much more I can do for you. He's been nothing but gracious. It's strange for a furthermore, but I was still occupied with thoughts of returning home to care. Looked over the woods, the shadows cast from the moonlight, tossing some hesitation within me. Do you mind giving me some directions to the head start? Michael looked at me finally, then to the horizon with a tilt of his chin. Keep heading in that direction. You'll come across a trail that'll lead you straight home. I waved at him when he opened the door, the mechanism locking shut with a click. I stood there for a moment, questioning if I had made the right decision or not. Another urgent thought compelled me to leave. This is no place for me. I have to go. It was already too late to go back, so I gathered my resolve and walked away. I walked and walked. Trees blended into one another after a while. I should have been afraid or concerned, but it felt right. The darkness that surrounded me was too comforting for me to feel danger. I steered away from the direction Michael showed me ages ago. My feeble only I got it someplace special. Final destination here. It's a patch of mushrooms I had stepped in earlier. I was meant to be here. I've always meant to be here. I lay down in the cold wet dirt and closed my eyes. There's not much I could do if the force had staked its claim on you, Firefly. Wish I'd found you sooner. Sleep well, Atlas. Ending 1, Peaceful Slumber. Okay, so that's not in fact my cat, but it is. My cat was just taken by the earth, and then I was also then taken by the earth, and that's ending 1. So let's go back here. Let's say actually dinner sounds. Actually, dinner sounds really good. Michael's jaw dropped for a second before he recovered. Yes, of course. Here comes it. We'll serve the cottage pie in a minute. So we do just straight up die, but we return to our cat, to the forest, to become a soul in the forest. Honestly, doesn't sound like a bad way to go. Hell, if I'm ever on my deathbed, I might just walk into a random forest. Fuck it. It could be fun. It could be fun. It could be fun. I said, as instructed, my stomach rumbling something fierce as the smell was the only thing I could focus on. Yes, this was definitely the right choice. It was important. What was so important that you had to leave so soon? The outside world can wait. You could stay here and enjoy my company. Oh, actually, I should ask. Are you okay with meat for dinner? I can make something else if that's not your preference. Real world meat, as you know, the big V. That's what I call vegan. So I don't eat meat. How long have I been doing this? 40 minutes. This is going to be a long video. You're welcome, Dad. God, I might just not edit it. I might just do basic editing. Like, just cut out the beginning and the end. I think I've made flubs, but honestly, I don't care. This is a story game, and if I've read a thing twice, get some value out of it. Good thing I asked. Thanks for letting me know. Pick some veggies from the garden, and I'll make you something. He left out the back door with a basket, coming inside surprisingly quick with a smile on his face. I expected him to toss something in a bowl and have it done like that, but apparently he had other plans. I watched as he washed the veggies thoroughly before chopping them up with an extra sharp knife, setting them aside and pulling out a container from one of the cabinets. He set a pan on the stove and oiled it up, tossing in half of the ingredients and seasoning them with some herbs and spices while pot boils next to it. The small kitchen quickly filled up with the smell of his cooking. My mouth was already watering in response. I twirled with a fork on the table, trying to ignore the gnawing feeling in my gut. Luckily, I didn't have to wait long. Before I knew it, Michael had already finished, humming as he strode over down in front of me. No, okay, hold on. I just realized something. The purple mice are the will of not me, but the will of the forest. The pink me's are the will of Michael. Notably, some of them are black. They must be the ones that actually are our thoughts. I looked down at my dinner and almost gasped. It looked so good. The rice was fluffy as it peeked out underneath the colorful pile of veggies. I didn't know a simple dish could look so tantalizing. The serving size was a bit heartier than expected. Yes or no, I was starving. Michael brought over his own serving of cottage pie as he settled into his seat. What is cottage pie? Oh, it's another term for shepherd's pie. Cool. Michael brought over his own serving of cottage pie as he settled into his seat. Sorry to make you wait. I tried to keep it simple but filling. Go ahead, dig in. You didn't have to drown me twice. Jabbed my fork into the dish, shooting up rice with a spoon in my other hand and shoveling it into my mouth. Hot! Michael kept a polite expression, the corner of his mouth lifting as I stood with the food still in my mouth. It took me a few seconds to recover. I both planted on the table. Is it good? I nodded vigorously, even though my buds were burning. I couldn't taste anything. He laughed. It's usually better on the second bite. I set my hand on my mouth as Michael poked his fork into his pie. Gingerly blew on the plate to make sure it was cool before taking another bite. He was right. The second bite was a lot better. The rice was soft and flavorful, mixing in nicely with the crunch of the vegetables with every chew. I've never had greens this fresh, and with how gently he cooked them, every single element was finished to perfection. I just watched me enjoy the meal from across the table. Do you like it? Yeah, this tastes amazing, Michael. He flushed from the compliment, rubbing the back of his neck. I'm glad you like. I'm glad to think of myself as a decent cook, but I've never been able to get anyone else's opinion on that. Do you like baking in particular? Not always. I usually go for simple dishes with other ingredients available. Anodamically, though didn't say much else, was focused on scarfing down dinner, which thankfully Michael didn't seem to mind. The overall atmosphere was nice and homey, and I could hear Michael tapping his feet from underneath the table. I guess he was that happy to have someone stay for dinner. It did seem like he lived alone, judging from the surroundings in his cabin. So I'm kind of curious. Want to live all the way out here? Oh, well, when you look at me, it's kind of easier. Look like me, it's kind of easier to just live out of sight from everyone else. I'm not going to repair my pajama pants again. A pang of guilt shot through my chest. I was giving him a hard time, and about how he looked, too. I must have sensed it down my face. Not that you're one of them. You've actually been nicer than most. Though I wonder if the smile turned strained. Never mind. My point is, it's better here than anywhere else. Why don't you try the tea, Firefly? He seemed uncomfortable now, easing into a different topic. It's probably best to follow along. Oh, sure. Reach out towards my mug. I had to push it off the edge with my clumsy fingers. Wait! I had to grab it, fully expecting it to just fall out of reach and land on the floor into broken pieces. It never did. Instead, a long green appendage was twisted around the ceramic mug, securely keeping it in place. Not even a drop had fallen out. My eyes trailed along the length of it until I pinpointed that it came from behind Michael, the rest of it practically hidden beneath his cardigan. Michael? Is that yours? I. Michael buries his face in his hands, the strange appendage from before lowering to his side, mug in tow. I'm sorry, Atlas. I think it's time I was honest. He lifted his head, fingers parting his hair back to reveal his eyes. I rose as to no, multiple pairs of iris stared right into mine, before darting to the side and avoiding my gaze. I know it's a lot to take in, but this is who I really am. Please don't be scared. Freak out or remain calm. The standard for Rem. I swallowed audibly, willing myself to not look away. He seemed to be holding his breath as I gripped the edge of the table. I felt unsettling every time he blinked to those eyes in succession, even if he wasn't looking at me. Was it real? It had to be. Everything about it suddenly made so much more sense. The isolation, the avoidant behavior. He looked freaky, yes, but he also looked sad. I I swallowed thickly. I'm not scared. Michael's many pupils blew wide, eying like an excited wildcat. It sent a shiver up my side. Well, now I am. Jesus Christ, I didn't know they did that. Sorry, but man, that was surprising. Okay, maybe just a little bit. Sorry. Hastily grabbed an empty plate and hid behind it. Shoulders scrunched up despite his stature. Would it help if I just hide it? No, 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 don't. Don't do that, dude. It's chill. We're chill. We're chilling. If I could fix my hair like before, if that's what you prefer. His voice was muffled behind the ceramic area between us. It was kind of endearing, so he reached out to his hand, the slight brush of my fingertips making him jump in place. Michael? Yeah? Can you put that down? He slowly lowered the plate. His eyes were still darted to the side, avoiding me. Can you look at me? Don't look at me like that. Sorry, I can't stop looking. This was so awkward. His hands were shaking. Down on my mugs, hanging on for dear life. I reached over and put it straight out of his grasp. I tentatively took a sip, noticing how Michael was watching me over the rim of the mug. The taste was mildly spicy, with an almost earthy bite to it. I recognized it instantly as ginger tea. Hold on. I was hoping this video was going to be shorter than one, but well, it's been 50 minutes. It's almost room temperature, but it's still pretty good. Huh? You wanted me to try the tea, right? I like it, so thank you. Oh, I'm glad. Michael relaxed back into his seat, following my lead as I picked up my fork once more. That didn't last long as Michael fidgeted. Are you really okay with this? With me? You haven't once over. Really taking in his features. It's very different than what I'm used to, but I think I can learn to like it. Is that weird to say? I mean, you're not bad to look at. Actually, kind of, damn it, what do I say? You think I'm pretty? Yeah. Oh. Appearance didn't matter. You've been nothing but kind to me so far. You're the worst kind of person to judge someone based on how they look. I haven't even known you that long, but you seem like a good person. You're fine, Michael. I smiled at him. We're fine. I see. Thanks, Atlas. I'll cherish this moment forever. He beamed at me enthusiastically and went back to eating his food. That was something. He continued a bit of small talk, mostly stories about Daisy or snippets from my personal life. Michael hung on to every word I said, not bothering to elaborate much about himself despite my burning curiosity. I could tell he was extremely insecure about his appearance, so it was best I keep my questions to myself for tonight. We cleaned up the kitchen in relative silence. Michael stripped away the rest of the pie as I washed the dishes by the sink. Being out here in this remote cabin, I wondered how he had running water. Maybe I'll ask him later. Nah, bitch, ask him now! Ask the random mushroom goblin how he has running water! So, thanks for dinner. Thanks for the company. Oh, and please, take the bed tonight. But, you're my guest and I'm the host. Take the bed, okay? Alright, I'll be out of your hair first thing in the morning. Michael got quiet, staring at the floorboards. With his hair out of the way, I could finally read his expressions. He did seem upset. Is that okay? I do need your help, though. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna get lost again on my own. His tail flicked behind him. Yeah, I'll bring you home tomorrow morning. I heaved a sigh of relief. Thanks, Michael. I'll see you in the morning. Yeah. Good night, Atlas. Good night, Michael. He seemed really happy being able to say that. I lowered myself down to Michael's bed, getting comfy beneath the blanket. Michael was gathering some blankets of his own to make a makeshift bed on the floor in front of the fire. He had an impressive collection of knitted items, a comfortable nest forming in the center of the room. Else trailed after his tail, now out in the open as he flicked and swayed. Kind of like a cat. I miss Daisy. Now with a full stomach, dozing off came easily. I didn't even realize how tired I was. Oh, I didn't even read that. Now with a full stomach, dozing off came easy. I didn't even realize how tired I was. I listened to the gentle crackling of fire, my vision darkening. Good night, Atlas. A soft humming invaded my dreams, stirring me awake. I blinked my eyes open to an unfamiliar surroundings, swallowed in the blanket that clearly wasn't mine. Where? Oh! I spotted the familiar figure of my host seated on a stool in front of the fire and stealthily working on the green scarf bundled in his lap. He looked incredibly adept at using them, the rhythmic movements almost hypnotic as the fires being wound together into an intricate pattern. I slowly stirred into a sitting position, rubbing at my eyes. The movement quickly caught his attention, ears flicking in my direction before his eyes trailed onto me. His pupils blew up. Eye contact. His expression lit up the instant he saw me. Alice, hey, I'm glad you're finally awake. You look so tired, I didn't want to disturb you until you'd gotten enough rest. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Atlas. Did you sleep well? Still going to answer his question, on slipping out as I stretched. He smiled kindly, a soft suckle under his breath. Like a baby, then? The door said something said towards it. You can freshen up in the bathroom if you'd like, while I start making us some food. I'd have eaten breakfast by now, but I want you to join me while the food's still hot. How do eggs and toast sound? Do you have something else? Oh, I can make some fresh salad if that's what you'd prefer. I'd love that. Thank you. Of course. He tucked away his knitting materials and set it aside. Oh, I do have a surprise for you after breakfast. It's not the most exciting surprise, but just join me when you're ready. He ducked into the kitchen at another glance. I could hear his boots thud under the floorboards, cabinets opening and closing in the kitchen. I suppose that's my cue. I rolled out of bed, leaving the warmth of Michael's blankets and trotting over to the door Michael pointed out. This place is slick! Simi sighed. I didn't know what I was expecting when he said he had a bathroom, but it was surprisingly spacious. Everything looked like it was carved and polished out of wood. It seemed to have everything you'd find in a modern bathroom. A sink with a cabinet, a shower, and a tub. And even a toilet. Curious, I kept over to the toilet in particular, inspecting it. There was an intake I could expect where the water would be stored, and so there was a compartment to the side full of sawdust and a scoop. I expected it to have at least a bit of smell, but it was surprisingly odorless. Classic. The classic outhouse. But it's in the house? There was even a roll of toilet paper on the side. Oh yeah, I didn't notice that. It was no flushing system, but it was hygienic. Michael must have done his research. Walking over to the sink, I swore I just accidentally twisting it. I jumped when I heard the rush of water pouring in, swirling in the basin before disappearing to who knows where. Wow. Why am I impressed by a damn functioning bathroom sink? 'Cause it's in the middle of the woods! Running water isn't usually found in the middle of the nature. Imagine randomly finding a Wi-Fi hotspot in the middle of the finding a functioning Wi-Fi hotspot in the middle of the Sarabian desert. Yeah, that's interesting. Helped with the dishes last night. I already knew Michael had plumbing. Shaking my head. I still finished up and headed to the kitchen. Michael looked up as I entered, a steaming kettle in his hand with two empty mugs on the counter. It might have been the lighting, but he was taller than I remembered. Glancing to the table, I could see he already finished plating up our food. Oh, wow. You work fast. Michael looked proud of himself. Can't have my guests stay on an empty stomach. Go on, have a seat. I'll join you in a moment. I returned his smile and sat down, stomach grumbling as I looked at our plates. Just as promised, Michael had prepared a delightful bowl of salad. Fresh lettuce, cherry tomatoes, minced carrots and onions. I could see bits of homemade croutons added to the mix, too. It was quick and simple, but I could tell he put a lot of effort into it. I couldn't wait to dig in. Michael sat down, a steaming mug beside me before settling into his own seat. Peeking above the rim, I could see small flowers floating about, tinting the water yellow. It smelled faintly of apples. I recognized the yellow dried petals in the tea packaging I've seen before. Oh, chamomile? He nodded. I hope you like it. I'm sure I will. His smile widened, his tail swaying at the tip by his feet. He seemed more relaxed, showing his natural features this morning. Any trace of panic and hesitation from last night were gone, replaced by a look of contentment. Talking for so long, how do people do it? Talking hard with focus, 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 focus. All right. Michael bit into his toast, and I followed suit. The food was delicious as I expected. Forkful of the salad had me sighing in delight, the taste and textures mingling on my tongue. I could tell these were fresh, but nothing beats fresh ingredients straight out of the garden. Michael was happy to eat in silence, occasionally looking up at me as I enjoyed my food. He'd smile when our eyes meet, his bottom pair near, moving into a happy squint. Wonder if he'd be open to some questions. Hey. Do you mind if I ask? Remember what I said? Ask the weird mushroom goblin creature about how they have indoor plumbing? How do you have plumbing now? I know it's a silly question, but I can't stop thinking about it. Oh, you were wondering about that? The embarrassed look on my face is probably enough of an answer. Aw. Well, it's nothing fascinating. It's just rainwater I've got stored above the cabin. Just rainwater? He nodded, a hint of pride as he continued. It's actually a recent installment, believe it or not. Granted, the project took a while, gathering materials, figuring out the tools, finding the right instruction manuals. Plus, I had to figure out where to store the water tank. But don't worry, I installed a filtration system, so it's safe for us to use. I check in every few weeks to make sure nothing's contaminated. That sounded daunting, especially considering he lived all the way out here in the woods. You did all that on your own? I kinda had to. Anyway, it took a whole lot of calibrating and adjusting, but it really worked out. And now that I think about it, I'm glad you get to be comfortable here during your stay, too. Does that answer your question? Where'd you learn how to do all that? Fiend for knowledge. I absorbed the knowledge into my brain so that one day when I'm a brain in a tank, I can be the smartest human being in the world. I had to figure out a lot of things on my own. There's faint of exhaustion in his eyes. But to answer your question, I go to libraries a lot. That's where I learned about the majority of things. The fact that I even ventured into buildings at all surprised me. But if I'm really lucky, they have all these neat DIYs and workshop manuals archived for anyone to browse through. It took a while to figure everything out. A real long time, actually. But hey, I had nothing but time. And it paid off. I'm considering upgrading the toilet next, but for now the composting setup works fine. Learned a lot about that in an old camping guide. He paused to take a break, as if he hadn't talked to this much in a while. I've also been talking my ass off. I've been talking my ass off. The fucking insides of my mouth are beginning to hurt. Let's keep going. You know what? I'm not editing this. Yeah, I don't have to. I don't have to. I don't have to edit this. You can't make me. You can't. It that's against the that's against Brown v. Board. Uh, I'm rambling, but that's how I did it. Anything else you want to ask? Let's keep asking questions, dude. Never bad time to ask questions. Wait, you've been to libraries? His ears perked up, posture straightening. Oh yeah, I can't tell. Oh, you enough of how much books have. Started walking around again and thinking of things and doing things that only make sense to me. I'm a great entertainer. To be fair, I feel like this is going I mean, it's not like I've scrapped 8 videos between the roundabout video and this one that I'm going to just say yes to purely because it's been over an hour and I'm still having fun, which I what it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. I'm making content. I'm a content creator. Uh, hey, uh, remember to hit like on this video because one like on this video is actually exactly one like on this video. So I don't know if you knew that, but just letting you know that one like on this video is one like on this video. It's pretty neat. I thought that fact was pretty cool. I've made it this far only because I quickly figured out how to read. Well, figured out that I can read. Do you visit often? In my early days, any chance I could get. Nowadays, I stick to my side of the forest, though. Gotta make sure people don't wander too far off. Then they're not meant to. I paused my chewing at the teasing Lilt? Is that a real word? A cheerful or lively manner of speaking in which the pitch of voice varies pleasantly. It's also a brand of soft drink that's only sold in the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Gibraltar. But not Seychelles. Don't listen to the rumors. They were not made by Seychelles. Lilt was apparently rebranded as Fanta Pineapple and Grapefruit this year. Soda facts. God, if I actually have edited this video, I'm going to be so proud of myself. Truly. Hey, I'm joking. Anyways, if you're wondering what I do about this, gesture towards his face, I just have to make sure everything's covered. You'd be surprised how little people pay attention to me when I bend up just right. Do people not give you trouble? He shrugged nonchalantly. Small town libraries are usually so empty from experience. And people just mind their own business there. Huh, I guess that's true. I remember the last time I visited the library would be Michael's equivalent to the World Wide Web. I should introduce him to the internet sometime. Actually, maybe not. Not without parental controls. Yeah. If I'm not back to eating my food. How did you learn to cook? Cottage pie is a pretty complicated recipe. It really isn't. It really isn't. I can't imagine that it's hard to make shepherd's pie. I just wonder if anyone taught you how to cook. I'd be lucky if someone could teach me how to make boiled eggs, Firefly. But it was trial and error mostly. My early endeavors were pretty much inedible. I picked up a thing or two about cooking, though, as your taste buds aren't going to fall victim to any nasty creations like my early days, at least. Speaking of, did you enjoy dinner last night? Of course I did. You're a really good cook, Michael. I'm glad. It probably wasn't obvious, but I'm really happy I got to cook for you. I don't get guests, in case you couldn't tell. I should ask you to cook for me every day then. He grinned at my joke, looking pleased. I'd be happy to. I chuckled as I took another bite. So what's your favorite thing to cook? He lit up at the question. Fried mushrooms. Fried mushrooms? Yeah. There's plenty to find, and it's easy to make. Huh. I do remember finding a patch of mushrooms yesterday. They smell pretty funky, though. You remember that? What was that? Nothing. Anyways, mushrooms were the only thing I had for a while before figuring out I could eat other stuff like roots and veggies. Do you forage all your ingredients? Mostly. Since I figured out how to catch fish and hunt game with the best. My life, I'll tell you that. My first taste of meat is an awkward version of a chef's kiss, as if mimicking something he saw on television once. Mamma mia, mamma mia. Mamma mia! Mamma mia! Was he trying to say Mamma mia? He was trying to say Mamma mia! He continued before I could even dwell on it for a second longer. But nothing beats what you humans are able to make. You guys go nuts with ingredients. Rice was a challenge. It's a and since I actually have to get it from the store. Once I figured out how to make it nice and fluffy, I consider it a special treat. I did a double take. You go to the store? Yeah. Where else would I get it? I thought you would grow it yourself or something. He laughed as I flushed in embarrassment. It's flattering you think I'm even capable of something that impressive, but no. There's only so much the forest can provide. But what about money? We're talking about human currency, right? Otherwise, how would you even... Do you actually have a job? A thought occurred to me. Oh, where did you steal it? I almost looked offended. Do you take me for a criminal? No, but that would mean that... how... Michael bit into his toast, his two eyes winking in mischief. I have my ways, Firefly. What's that supposed to mean? Theft! It means theft! The weird mushroom goblin man is stealing all of his rice! He's a menace to society! That joke did not function! Ah! I've been doing this for over an hour! What's it like living in the woods? I still can't believe how cozy you managed to make it, considering the whole middle of nowhere thing. It wasn't like this when I found it. No? It was a major, fix her up her? Ah, yes. Mummer mia and fix her up her. Sure. So the cabin was abandoned. I never would have guessed. Yeah, I'm really happy to get to live somewhere permanent for once. It's not much, but it's home. What's it like? Peaceful, quiet. I do like it a lot. The forest provides me with everything I need. And nobody bothers me for the way I look out here. His ears twitched slightly. Dude, we gotta start coming up with body modifications so that Michael could exist in the real world. That came out weird, but I'm gonna take it. I'm transhumanism for the win. Reject the confines of humanity and become transcendent of it. Or I will kill you. His ears switched slightly. Sometimes you just happen to end up where it's most convenient for you and everyone else. The way he avoided my eyes as he said that gave me the impression there's something more to it. Like his home just wasn't out of convenience, but a fear of something else. Rejection, perhaps? Or something worse. Anyways, I don't really have anything else to say about it, unless there's something specific you want to ask. He doesn't think about his answer much before beaming at me. What about you? I know you've told me a little about yourself, but what's it like being you? I scoffed, waving a hand. Please, I'm the least interesting person in this room. Trust me. His eyes were shining in earnest as he leaned forward. Tell me anyway. Oh, well, I told him about my life, at least the parts I was comfortable sharing. There's certainly a lot that happened in my life that I'm not going to divulge on the internet. Needless to say, I was nearly murdered at one point by the principal of a high school I went to. Another high school shut down after a year, and the other high school I went to expelled me 3 months before I got 3 months before I got graduated and ruined my chances of a career and anything ever. Yanderre Mushroom Guy. Just Yanderre Mushroom Guy. Just like last night, his eyes didn't leave my face, absolutely darting about my features in earnest. The direct ogling was making me nervous, but I suppose I was doing the same thing when it was his turn to talk. Eventually, I came to the topic of my job and the woes of living in modern capitalism. Oh, I guess in-game is someone who has a job. I'm picturing like a JoJo's. If you play Stardew Valley, you'll understand. But like the JoJo's style scene where you're just sort of typing away, except your grandfather never existed. Actually, a bit jealous. You have the whole cottagecore aesthetic practically perfect. His face morphed into a confused pout. Cottagecore? Explain to him in my own words. Oh god, now I'm gonna explain cottagecore. I don't need to explain cottagecore. You know what cottagecore is. All the lesbians do it. All the lesbians do it. Cottagecore 2024. Oh, you're saying you want to live the way I do? In the woods? Nodded without hesitation. I mean, I wouldn't mind showing you the ropes. You seem strangely lilted. What do you mean? Never mind. Anyways, I don't get what the appeal is, but it's not easy either, you know. Force provides, but it's up to me to make use of it. Starting out was... A dark look crossed over his face then, as if reliving a bitter memory. Rough. But I'm built for survival. If I guess elaborate would make things awkward. To veer the topic into a different direction. Doesn't it get lonely? Sometimes. But I'm used to it. He smiled, his eyes lighting up. Besides, I have you at the moment, don't I? I never thought I'd enjoy having someone around. Must be really special. I'm starting to learn a lot more about Michael. Didn't directly say it, but it felt like he was lonelier than he was letting on. Not to mention how he managed to make a home for himself, all on his own. I mean, there was apparently some. I do wonder if he had anyone at all. Do you have any family around? Family? His expression turned solemn for a moment before he looked sheepish. Remind me how that works again? I get the concept. As I've read, I don't have what you call parents, if that's what you're asking. My mouth dropped open in shock. Why? Mushroom Goblin. Of course they don't have parents. No parents? You shouldn't have another bite of toast. Not that I recall. And how did you... What's that like, living with so many people like you in such close proximity? Huh? That's how it works, right? You and other humans living in one house. You have this, Denna thing that makes you relate to the rest. That's what makes a family, right? Eh. Was he talking about DNA? Yeah. What else do you think Denna means? For Christ's sake. His definition threw me off, but I had to answer somehow. Not just that. Family is, you love and care about. Who love and care about you, too. He seemed intrigued. Is that so? That does sound nice. Is there anyone you love and care about? I'm gonna go through both options at some point, probably. There seems like a lot of content in this game, and it's just a demo, so I am excited for the end, for the full release. I'm gonna pick this one because it seems spicier. Yeah, I love my friends. Your friends can be considered family too? Yeah, I don't see why I have to be related to be family. I consider my cat family. Oh. The same for all families? Oh, I left pondering deception. It would be naive to think that. Actually, the word naive is spelled with that one weird I that has two dots over it. Actually, that's not how you spell naive. That's not how you spell it, gay. And I'm the worst kind of person to ever exist. It's been an hour and a half. Families do love and take care of one another, but not everything's perfect. Sometimes that love can be misplaced or taken advantage of or even abused. Michael looked thoughtful. So it starts with love? I've read some stories about that. Love, I mean. Though certain feelings just don't make sense to me. At least from a reader's perspective. I'd guess you have to experience it for yourself to understand? Yeah. Understand? He stared at me, unblinking for a moment. Yeah, you might be right. Never consider that. Then again, who would bother loving a monster like me, huh? Don't talk about yourself like that. or I will kill you. What? You're not a monster. I look like one, don't I? That's beside the point. You're not denying it, though. Society viewed me as a monster, kid. Still a lot of people that love me. They cared about me and wanted what's best for me. Even if sometimes their wants were misplaced. I'm a monster to society. So, I'm just saying. Hold on. I'm just saying. It's okay. You don't have to lie to me. So, family? Right. To be fair, everyone's definition of family could be different. What about you? What's your definition of family? Michael looked surprised I asked him that question. I don't know. I've never had one, and I think your answer just confused me more. But if you ever figure it out, let me know. Stared at the remaining crumbs on his plate before he nodded, avoiding my gaze. Sure. We all fell quiet, the whole conversation blanking us in a comfortable silence. All this family talk is why I'm out here in the first place. Look for my beloved cat. A sight I may never be able to see again. As to the growing pit in my stomach. I wish I was able to find Daisy. We would have loved her. Michael opened his mouth to say something, but changed his mind. I formed in my throat. Sorry, I just miss her so much. If I just been looking for her sooner, maybe I would have found her by now. He was quick to speak up. You did your best, Firefly. No one else could have gone to the lengths that you did. No, it's just yourself. I'm sure of her if she's doing that too. You really think so? I know so. His voice was late with a confident assurance, despite the worried look on his face. I nodded with a quiet sniff. I hope so. She's just important to me, is all. Michael looked like he wanted to reach across the table for me, but sighed instead. Actually, I'm sorry, Atlas. I should tell you. Maybe I do have a family now that I think about it. That was the surprise I mentioned before. Wait, really? You nodded. Are you done? I could take you to go meet them right now. I had 10 on my plate. During the conversation, I didn't even realize I'd finished my meal. Yeah, I'm done. His moments were beds and mugs sitting on the sink. He grasped side and I could only see before his dad, before he tugged me along as he rounded the side of the cabin. Almost immediately, my briefcase was into the rooms on both sides. I figured he was the type to grow his own vegetables, but to see it in person was a whole different thing. With Michael leading the way, I only had a moment to take in the surrounding. He had marked different pots with messy drawings on the wooden signs sticking out the dirt. Carrots, lettuce, potatoes, trellises of tomatoes and beans. No one had been able to illustrate one plant thing out of without signs. The camera marquee just now grew abundant close by, and he smiled at smiling too. I went to Michael as he suddenly sighed, the man looking over his shoulder to beam at me. You should well look in such area, with a bit of netting stretching all around. He stepped aside, watching me as my eyes widened. Chickens! Three fat, happy little hens strutted out like they owned the place. As he entered the gate, that swarmed over an instant at his feet, circling him and pecking at his boots. Ladies, Atlas. Alice, these are Mawar, Sensei, and Primrose. As I like to call them, Mary, Sunny, and Rosie. He ducked to pick one up, fluffing her feathers as he smiled. He gently scratched the little hen's head, which I assumed was Rosie. She practically melted at his pampering, eyes sliding shut. The other two flapped their wings in a huff and went about their business once more. Michael leaned closer, beckoning me to pet Rosie. She was so soft. Rosie's the oldest. She doesn't lay eggs anymore, but I couldn't bring myself to, you know. So I brought her some friends. Marmar came first. Sunny's a more recent addition. What do you think? Do we make a good family? I laughed and nodded, watching Rosie nuzzle as Rosie nuzzled into Michael's chest. I didn't expect chickens of all things. Were you expecting something else? I was expecting it to be someone else. Oh. No. When you look at me, people don't generally sit around. There's the negative self-talk again. Shush! You don't look bad, says Footer to me. I looked a pleasant surprise crossing his face. You really think so? Yeah? Can't be that naive, Firefly. I mean it! He laughed out a polite scoff as he scratched his head absently. You genuinely believe people wouldn't run away at the sight of me? Who gives a shit about those people? Okay? Beat their asses! Into molasses! Think about trashes! I can't rhyme anything else with molasses! And trash was a stretch, so believe you me, I can't. Well, I didn't. He smiled, turned smug at the corner of his lips, being just a bit. Of course you didn't. Because you couldn't. It wasn't wrong. She realized in bed when he hears that. I still don't think you look that bad. Is that so? Describe me then. What? You heard me. Look at me and describe what you see. For a second I thought I was being condescending, but looking at his eyes, I could put a playfulness. With his eyes shining. You're tall. Go on. You have blonde hair. Belts. Green skin. A tail. No mouse in it. That's not all, is it? Okay, fine. So you don't look human. So what? He smiled absently. As I was saying, animals generally don't care if you look like a monster. Arrow twisted his words. Didn't say monster. Never said monster. It's a word that I don't know the meaning of, especially in relation to you, alright? You do not talk about yourself like that. I will beat your ass. No negative self-talk, I say, fucking taking a damn cigarette and just fucking burning it into the... Oh, shit. Is that actually a burn? When did I get that? Ow. He twisted his words. Passive nonchalance somehow makes it even worse. Michael, you're not a Tug at my shoelace got my attention. A light brown head stood on my feet, her beady eyes shining. Ah! I dropped a pen. Rats. Sunny flapped her wings almost expectantly. Aw. I think she likes you. Go ahead, pick her up. Gently, like how I did with Rosie. I hesitated, but slowly lowered myself to cup Sunny by her wings. Lifting her up, she was quick to nestle herself until she was comfortably tucked under my arms, her wings wiggling as she nuzzled into my side. So cute. Michael's gaze softened as I cooed at the chicken, making her smoked ducks. So, did it help? Cheering you up, I mean. Oh, so that's what this was. A fuzzy feeling blew into my chest as he looked at me, chicken in his arms and contorted his face. A little bit. Yeah? Or you could say a lilt. A little bit. Lilt was a brand of soft drink manufactured by the Coca-Cola Company. It is sold only in the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Gibraltar. Despite claims made by various news outlets, it has never been sold in Seychelles. From the 1970s until its dissolution in 2023, Lilt was promoted with the advertising slogan Totally Tropical Taste. The famous catchphrase was created by Ken and Hella, who entered a magazine competition and won second place, receiving a ghetto blaster. First prize was a trip to the Caribbean, citation needed. Between 2008 and 2014, the Coca-Cola Company reduced the number of calories in drink by 56% of order to make healthier products in response to the British government's public health responsibility deal. The amount of sugar was also reduced alongside the addition of artificial sweeteners, aspartame, ethyl K, and section. One of the advertisements in the late 1980s featured the Lilt Man, a parody of the Milkman, delivering Lilt in a Lilt cloak, with the song being the lyrics, "Here Comes the Lilt Man." In the late 1990s, it was heavily promoted with advertisements featuring two Jamaican women, Blanche Williams and Hazel Palmer, with one out of them parodying a Levi's outfit. They became known in the media as the Lilt Ladies. In February 2023, it was announced that the Lilt brand would be discontinued, with the drink being fully absorbed into Fanta's brand as pineapple, pineapple, and grapefruit in all markets. The rebranded drink became available from the 14th of February. Is it clear that I'm going insane yet? I just read the entirety of the Lilt. Because of a dumb pun. Only a little? Mr. Rolling Eyes. Okay, Mr. A lot. That's more like it. His proud grin was infectious. Can't help smiling back. Spent a bit more time with the hens, petting them until they were satisfied. Lillian showed me the spot where they liked to have their dust baths. Little chicken sheep holes scattered in the dry soil underneath the coop. Once the cows had enough of us, we refilled their water container before leaving. He left them some treats, procuring them straight out of his pockets before shutting the gate. The girl's excited chatter over the food faded as we made our way back inside his cabin. I sat at his bed as he crouched by the fireplace. From the window, I could see the sun outside was getting higher. It might be close to afternoon now. Hey, Michael? Hmm? Moni was stroking the fire, with my arms, unsure of where to place my gaze. I think it's a good time for me to go now? I didn't. My expression fell, but I caught myself quickly. Up in a bad mood. I might have to accept that I'll never see Daisy again. I think it's better if I focus on moving on. He was quiet for a moment, hands in his pockets. If you say so. But you don't have to leave just yet. Still have plenty of daylight left, and there's some places I want to show you. Will you come with me? I had to decide. That was not. That was. I promise I'll take you home right after. Took another step towards me. Please, Firefly. I want to say it, but he looked desperate. Okay, I'll go with you. The joy in his face was shining right as a billboard. Great! Let me get our stuff. Kitchen returning with my backpack and then a satchel in the other. He passed it to me as we walked towards the front door. I almost forgot I had this. Yet I found cow treats, Daisy broken call, and my phone. The battery was dead though. Still, that's one less thing to worry about. I checked through that with finding an empty water bottle. I frowned, distinctly remembering I forgot to pack water for my trip, or at least Michael told me I did. Didn't I? You ready? That's a crossbow! I looked at Michael staring on his spot at the large crossbow in his hands. He followed my gaze and shrugged, albeit with a nervous smile, like he'd been caught doing something he shouldn't be. Glee strapped the weapon to his back out of sight. Don't worry, I'm not going to use it unless necessary. I would hope not. He chuckled at my indignant tone. I'm going to leave you in the woods without guaranteeing your safety? I promised to get you home. So this is just an extra precaution. You don't think it's a bit much? Better safe than sorry, Firefly. You did have a point. If anyone knew these woods and the kind of danger it held, it would be Michael. Glanced over him again, noticing he changed his oversized cardigan for something more outdoor appropriate. Also, yeah, we did pack water. I'm gonna bring that up again. That was one of the first things we saw in the game. We did in fact pack water. I'm not gonna pull it up because now I know I'm not gonna be editing this video. Well, because it's too fucking long to edit, which is ironic. But fuck you. His eyes tracked mine, his shoulders stiffening as a tint spread across his face. So, shall we He opened the door and waved me out. I stepped outside to glance around his front yard. The landscape wasn't anything special. It was actually left quite plain, just thick trees and foliage. Only paths of dirt and flattened grass clued me to the routes Michael would use as he comes and goes, moving in all directions, trailing to the front door. Come to think of it, anyone passing through would be able to spot Michael's house if they squinted through the trees carefully enough. I guess he was right that nobody walked through this area in years. The lock turned before Michael joined me by my side. He smiled wide before tipping his head in a direction, making sure I was behind him before he started walking. I was hesitant, but followed suit. It was quiet as we traveled, save for the sounds of nature calling out around us. But it was bright and warm, the sun casting pretty rays through the gaps in the trees. I had to admit, enjoyable as it was, the bird calls and rustling of leaves often somewhat brought back memories. Yesterday was miserable. I was lost, tired, and hungry. There was no chance I was going to get out alive. I watched Michael's back as he led the way, the man barely paying any mind to his surroundings. His ears would occasionally flick back in my direction, but overall he seemed confident on where to go. Having Michael as my guide home was definitely a great assurance. It made me even more grateful he'd found me when he did. I sighed and shook off the negative feelings, keeping pace while appreciating the fresh air. I stepped up next to my companion, lowering my voice to speak after plenty of silence. This is actually kind of nice. Hmm? A good old nature walk. I puffed into my fist, feeling embarrassed. I don't go inside as often as I should. Michael smiled kindly. I'm glad I get to bring you then. Yeah, feels different when you know where you're going. Actually, where are we going? He sensed my nervousness and laughed. Don't worry, we're almost there. Looked up and saw it before he even pointed it out. Clearing the distance, the trees growing strangely sparse in that area. From my breath as I noticed the grass slowly started to dot with flowers, delicate blooms swaying here and there in the breeze. As we got closer, Michael watched me as my mouth dropped open, a knowing twinkle in his eyes. It was breathtaking. A secluded little meadow of flowers, lit up by beams of light, making the scene resemble a page from a forgotten fairy tale. Butterflies flitted about in pairs, their wings flickering and completing the surreal yet enchanting ambiance of the whole place. Michael let me gawk some more before walking ahead, turning to face me before sitting down twice on the grass. He slipped off his satchel and laid it on the grass by his side along with his crossbow. I blinked out of my stupor and approached him, spinning around to drink everything in before plopping myself down next to him. So, what do you think? Pretty, isn't it? I nodded dumbly before finally glancing to face him. The man's gaze on me saw me softening as our eyes met. A butterfly approached us rapidly, making me flinch on instinct. It landed on his finger as he held it out, its wings flapping gently. He smiled at the dainty creature, a fond look in his eyes before he held it out towards me. Do you like butterflies, Atlas? I love butterflies. I do. I think they're so pretty. This is amazing, Michael. His usual pride was represented, instead replaced with a shy smile. I'm glad you like it. The sun was at its peak now, the air getting warmer as minutes passed. The leafy canopy over us provided enough cover for us not to overheat. Michael picked a flower with his other hand and placed it in my palm. His tail loosely around both both as my cheeks darkened. Closed his eyes and looked up, resting on his hand. My ears caught a soft rumbling for I realized it was coming from his direction. No sound asked, but didn't want to ruin it. My gaze didn't want to ruin it. My gaze dropped as I twirled the flower in my hand, holding the stem delicately. The gesture felt platonic, but also romantic. For Michael was even interested in relationships. He'd been alone most of his life. He'd probably get tired of my presence sooner or later. Before I could contemplate further, the butterfly on Michael's finger took off, my gaze trailing after it as it left the sunlight and flew away into the woods. Which reminds me, Michael? Hmm? Don't get me wrong, this place is stunning. But is it okay if we go now? A strained from his relaxed slouch. Well, why? We just got here. Chewed my lip, hesitating. I love it here, I do. But I want to go home, Michael. Michael studied my face. Atlas, do you want to leave me that badly? What? No! I just. I need time to recover from losing Daisy. I know it's silly and dramatic, but knowing she won't be there when I get home. Shut off. Another shot of coke, and regret filling my chest. I just need to get it done with. The hand rubbing my back. Michael nodded slowly, looking me in the eyes. His smile was gentle. That's okay. I understand. Maybe this place can help with that. It's a nice spot to nap in, isn't it? It's not just for you. Why don't you go ahead and lie down? His words made you sway. A sudden battlefields weighing heavy on your heads. He was right. It was. It is a nice spot to nap in. Why were you in such a hurry? You yawned, laying back to stretch in the grass. The warmth from the ground seeped through your clothes, lulling you into a sense of comfort and safety. There you go. Just spend some time with me. Just a bit more, please. Oh, here's something else I could show you. He reached into his satchel, pulled out a wooden box. It's called a kalimba. I think I own one of those. I blinked slowly, clarity coming back as soon as I shook my head to pay attention. The box fit neatly in his hands, as if he were typing on a phone. I do! I could see it had a hole in the middle, thin strips of metal arranged in a triangle shape over it. Yo, I own one of these! I own one of these! They're not at the house that I'm at right now, they're at me mum's. But I do own one. Well, what does it do? It makes music! A proud smirk spread across his face. I'll show you. He began to pluck at the metallic prongs, gentle rings and resonating with every flick of stillness. He couldn't recognize the song. He might have made it up himself. Closed my eyes, enjoying the tune. Michael gave a soft chuckle as he flipped the phone. Relax and sing the songs you do for me. A few minutes passed by with Michael poking away at the instrument, the two of us sunbathing like two cats on a Sunday afternoon. Must have dozed, so the next thing I knew I felt a nudge on my shoulder. Comfy? Hmm. He chuckled low when I refused to open my eyes. I mean, if you'd rather stay. My eyes shot open, my whole body jerking to sit up. Michael glanced at me, the kalimba in his lap, and half a forget-me-not chain in his hands. What? Head slapping my cheeks. I can't believe I fell asleep. I still need to. It's all right. Cut off. His sigh was heavy. I was hoping. Never mind. He patted my shoulder, though his smile didn't reach my eyes. Thanks for being here with me. Maybe we can do this again sometime. If I ever see you again. Let's get you home. Rolled over to his feet and stood up, brushing off dirt and fixing his satchel. Come on. We gathered our things and set off into the unknown once more. Well, unknown to me at least. Uncle seemed to have a map of this place ingrained in his brain. He seemed a bit Sleepy still, so let's freshen up, okay? Peering, coming across the river. Compared to the rest of the path we walked, the area was shaded considerably with a thick canopy of leaves over us. Flowing water looked inviting as I kneeled down by the bank. Michael idling his way. I dipped my hands in, eager to wash my face. The water was refreshing, cooled my heated skin in the afternoon sun. Michael peeking over my shoulder into my reflection, smiling with a faraway look on his face. As he startled as our gazes meet, Arceus darting away to look at himself instead. Immediately his expression changed. His ears flattened, a grimace twisting his features as his lips curled back. I'd never seen such contempt in his eyes as I did then, staring at his own visage. He stepped away, retreating underneath the cover of a tree to lean against it with crossed arms. He doesn't notice me watching. Patted my hands dry on my shoulder and approached him. You ready? Yeah. Not before he could turn to leave. To me with a questioning look, tipping his head. I hesitated. I was type to speak my mind directly. Most of the time I keep things to myself and let things go by. But nobody should look at themselves and have that sort of reaction. Hey, you know you're not, might as well be frank. You're not a monster, Michael. He looked taken aback. Well, what makes you good? I saw how you were looking at yourself. How you talk about yourself. None of it is true. I keep telling you, you're more than just your appearance. I don't know what compelled me to do it, but I did it anyway. I reached his hands and held them between us. His eyes widened at the contact. All it took was a day for you, and I truly think you're the most amazing person I've ever met. He made a choked noise. I'm just some old nobody compared to you. That's not. Shut up and listen! He promptly shut his mouth with a click of his teeth. From where I stand, you saved my life, taking care of me better than I could ever ask from a stranger. That already proves to me that you're not the monster you think you are. You're charming, you're smart, you're sweet. You're a million more wonderful things, but you are not a monster. It takes a second to compose myself, lowering my voice. You may look different, Michael, but guess what? That's what lies into my first findings of hearing the fear worst. It makes you all the more beautiful to me. His breath hitched. I feel his hands squeezing mine, fingers trembling. It's like he forgot how to breathe. Whereas my hands were getting sweaty. Bloody hastily scratching my neck and avoiding his gaze. I feel the blood rush to my face. I could dunk my head in the river and probably let off steam. Sorry that came out of nowhere. I just didn't feel right if I didn't say anything. I hope you understand. An awkward silence passed between the two of us. Um, anyways, I caught him mumbling under his breath. What? I said you can't leave. I mean, not without your cat, right? I frowned. I've already tried, Michael. Like you said, it's soon for me just to wander off in the woods as if I'd find her through dumb luck. He paused, his fists clenching. But I haven't, huh? I haven't tried. You know, these woods better. I know these woods better than anyone. I can try looking for her. But that means you can't leave yet. Michael, I appreciate her, but I don't think I should stick around any longer. I have a job and responsibilities and wasting pain. A sudden overwhelming your sense. A sudden overwhelming your senses. It's yourself, breathing itself into minutes. You feel like the world is working around you as well as forward. Body collected over as you resist the urge. Like the touches, you slipped grace. Just grab your wrist and the shoulder. Just hold it close. Hey, vision double as he spoke. His speech wasn't together, words into one cipherless. Are you okay? You need me carrying. Yes, please. Okay, no problem. Just hang in there. It's me. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to say this. I could just remember with you. Just made a little. Here we are. See you tucked in. I should give you some clothes. Should be staying another night. You're okay with that, aren't you? Okay, I don't actually know where the other ending is, but I also don't really care. This game was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I might try some other games. This creators made one other game, but there's also more games from the Yanderre uh, Game Jam that I might want to check out. Uh, this video is 2 hours long. I'm not editing it. There's a lot of flubs. I get called by my mom. I don't care. Bye.